Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm 31 years old. I'm a musician and I'm a kidney transplant donor.
Hi, I'm Aaron and I'm 37 this year. I work as a financial consultant and a motivational speaker, and I'm a recipient of my brother's kidney.
I think the motivation, it started when I heard that he needed to do a kidney transplant. Yeah, because his health wasn't in a very good condition. Yeah, and at that point in time, I happened to be over the age of 21. Yeah, so it was good because to actually to actually go for a, a transplant, you need to be over the age of 21 years old. Yeah. So and I think the motivation simply came. It's because I just wanted to help him. Yeah, I just wanted to help my the brother, and because at the point in time, I just felt that me being his younger brother, that if I wasn't the one to help him, then I cannot imagine who else could actually help him. Yeah, and so like before doing the transplant, we needed to go for a test, yeah, to see if my kidney would actually be suitable, yeah, for him. Yeah, so I went for the test, and there was a high percentage that my kidney would actually be a really
Good match.
match. Yeah, and so it was good. Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, it was simply my love for him as a brother. Yeah, and I saw that I was kind of the only one that could help him at the point in his life. Yep.
At the time, it was during the kidney transplant. Before the kidney transplant, it was 4 years of my dialysis years. During my dialysis years, the doctor did recommend me to go for a kidney transplant, but because of horror stories, I hear of people dying on a hospital bed, people not doing well after the kidney transplant, so I hesitated. I didn't want to go for it. But during my 4th year of dialysis, the doctors diagnosed me with chronic heart failure, right? Because of the long-term dialysis. So I have no choice. If I don't go for a kidney transplant, I will have only 5 years left to live, right? So at the time, I really boosted up my courage, and I shared my situation, which is quite dire, to my family members. And Caleb, without hesitation, volunteered to donate his kidney. So my health condition right there was terrible. I had to go in hospital every month. My biochemistry levels was off the charts. And my legs would be twitching, and I couldn't sleep for 1 week. Remember? Yeah, so it was very bad. I think the fear is, number one, the not so good outcomes that may happen, right? Like for example, health being worse and going for the transplant, and then right after that, the kidneys don't do well, and have to go back to dialysis and not even death. Okay, but the second part is I don't want to be a burden to my family. I don't want my family members to lose any part of their organs because of me. Right? So that's also my fear that my family members will not do well. Yeah, so I remain hesitant and indecisive about this matter. I think my doctor Dr. Professor Vatsala did a good job of educating me on what to expect during the transplant process. So when she told this to me, that I should go for a transplant, she said that I will prepare you for 1 year. Yeah. So during the 1 year, she advised me to take leave from my job. I rested completely, that my health is get better, right? And so that alleviated my fears a little bit that I will do well and the condition will do better after the transplant. And not only that, I think the love from the family member is very important, the support, and even though we as Asians, we don't really say I love you very much verbally, but the actions and being there for one another, and even the act that Caleb donated the kidney to me is very noble and very courageous. Yeah, so with this type of family culture and support, it really helps me to be confident. Yeah, and also my faith, the prayers, and also love from my church friends, all these constitute building up my confidence and the courage to go for the transplant.
They were very they were very supportive, and they were very happy for me and for him. Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, the fact is that like I could help him. Yeah, I could help my brother to be healthier. Yeah, and that I could actually help him to live as well. Yeah, and like every time when I mention about this story to my friends, they would all be like, "Wow, yeah!" Like they just feel like it is a very brave. It's a very brave act. Yeah. So I think the responses that I've had so far, like almost all of them has been good.
So when I was first time undergoing dialysis, the initial years, my mother really wanted to donate her kidney, okay? But like I've shared, I was hesitant. I didn't want to implicate my family members. But after 4 years, I had no choice. I really had to go for the transplant. And so the only choice left was my brother, who was healthy at that time. Right. My dad was a bit too old.
Too.
Right.
Yeah. And now too. Yeah.
Right.
I'm still very
So
healthy.
young, still very young and healthy at the time. So, of course, there's some concerns about family that Caleb being young, right, had a bright future ahead of him, and he's like perfectly healthy. And my parents, especially my dad, didn't want like two sons to go on a cutting board at the same time together. That kind of fear. But I think with a lot of education, I mean, we hear from the doctors or the nurses that actually this process is not as scary as we thought, right? And the outcomes generally are good, especially for living donor transplants. Yeah. The not so good ones are actually the cadaveric. Cadaveric means the accident victims, because the kidney has been out in the open for a couple of days and things like that. But for living donor, usually the chances of good success is very high.
I think it is actually proof that like even after going through the transplant, that you could still lead a life that is really healthy, and like and even until now, like I exercise very regularly. Like I would always hit the gym, and then at times I would run. Yeah, and so I'm still glad that like I can still do all the things that I like. Yeah, like I would play sports, and then I would exercise as well. Yeah, and I think yeah. So for me, like after the transplant, after the operation, so I had a break of a year to rest and to recover. And after a year, I actually flew overseas to the States. I flew there for my education. Yeah, and so I was just living there on my own, and I think yeah, it was just a time of me being independent. Yeah, and so but like at the same time, like the transplant itself, like it hasn't have a huge impact on my life, which was bad. Yeah, and so I think yeah, I was glad that the operation was smooth, and like even until now, I'm in a state where I'm still fit and healthy.
The kidney transplant has changed a lot for me. It's like a new life, because before the transplant, I couldn't eat a lot of foods. I couldn't even eat vegetables, fruits. I couldn't eat my favorite food, durians. I couldn't drink Milo even. I couldn't eat nuts. and I couldn't work as well because I was always feeling tired. I was having a low blood count, anemic, and I'm feeling nauseous after the kidney transplant. I have to go for the dialysis sessions 3 times a week, 4 hours every alternate days. I have to sit on the dialysis chair. I get poked by needles in and out every alternate day. Right? So the experience was very bad for the 4 years. But when Caleb gave me his kidney, okay, my life took a 180 degrees change. I could. The best thing about kidney transplant after my lifestyle after that was to be able to drink water. Because previously, as a dialysis patient, I couldn't drink water at all. I could only drink like 500 ml of water every day. But after the kidney transplant, I could drink unlimited amounts of water. I can drink gallons of water. So straight away, I took 1 liter of water and I gulped it down. The feeling was very exhilarating. And after the transplant, my energy level shot up. All my friends, all my clients found that I'm so energetic. And the best thing is that I don't have to go for dialysis anymore. So those times I can do the things that I want. I can pursue my dreams. I can start my own business, and I can even have the courage to ask ladies out for a date. And I eventually got married to my dialysis renal nurse, and I even have 3 children. Right? So all this wouldn't have made possible without the gift of life from my brother. Well, like I mentioned, as Asian people, right, we don't really like, oh, I love you, look at his face, I love you, I don't kiss you, or things like that, right? But I think just by the act that he's there for me, and that he didn't just give me money, he didn't give me anything material, but rather he gave me a part of his body, his flesh. Yeah, with that, I really want to say thank you to him. I've said it once, I've said it many times over text, but I just want to, I think he really knows in his heart that whatever he's going through, whatever challenges, his brother will be there for him, just like how he has been there for me.